why I was talking to the TV.
This is a business transaction. I'm not going to treat
I know.
you like
I love
a friend.
he didn't see. He said treat me like a friend, not even a producer.
I'm not going to treat you like a friend. I'm going to talk shit on you because you won't
Thank
take a
God.
mic. And if you took a mic, like my mom said, then you could.
I just feel like, in terms of producing, seriously, you guys have a good flow. Me chiming in.
No. You were like only one called upon.
Yeah, only when spoken to. Oh my God! Don't fucking talk when we. Now I don't want you to have a mic. I didn't even know you thought that was on the table.
I do want to announce Neil.
I agree. Now that we have gotten feedback.
Okay, I'm Jamie. This is Kirsten. We're dying up here, and you guys should like relax.
Stop being weird about it.
Definitely stop being weird.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of being weird,
yeah,
our podcast is produced by one of our friends.
Yeah,
friends.
He's a friend.
Okay,
he's cool.
No question mark.
Yeah,
work friend.
Definitely a colleague.
Anytime we say Neil or making fun of a man in the room, it's our producer.
Yeah, his name's Neil. Well, it's actually not his name, but it's his middle name.
Right.
And he's what's a fun fact about Neil? Do you have one?
Fun?
Yeah. Wait. What's the dumbest thing you've ever heard Neil say?
The dumbest thing I've ever heard Neil say. Probably any of his stand-up. Which I've heard one time 2 years ago.
Yeah. And it was so dumb.
Yeah.
You never wanted to hear it again.
No, I just never see him out.
Yeah. That's perfect.
We're in different circuits.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say, friend? Like he's with dudes that talk about their cocks and I'm on actual shows?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's kind of the difference. Yeah. Yeah. And for background, we're introducing Neil because we got feedback that Neil should have a mic so he can chime in after we released our first episode. But
so much feedback since the pod has hit.
Since it hit, lots of feedback.
Lots of feedback from Kirsten's mom exclusively.
Yeah. And since he refuses to take a mic, he can't come in and say anything else. So okay. So yeah, that's
we
Neil.
Love Neil though.
That's who we're referring to.
This is Neil. Speaking as their producer.
I bet nobody expected his voice to sound like that.
It's good to see you guys.
Neil, thank you for having us. We appreciate that you let us all speak for myself. Let me bully you. But I told you it's because I feel comfortable with you.
Yeah.
Which that's like so Stockholm to be like, I do this because I love you. But no, Neil is like one of very, very few male comedians that I immediately like saw and was like, oh, this person's not gonna harm me in any way.
Yeah,
I know the bar is in hell, but
yeah,
truly.
But well, I will say that when we talked about using Neil's studio, and I said, Neil would, and you said, yeah, every time I see Neil, I want to push him over, which is a really bold thing for someone who's maybe 5'8" to say about someone who's 6'5". The confidence was incredible.
There's something about him.
Yeah, you
guys check out his comedy. Look up Neil Wood.
You're gonna want to push him
when you see him. You're just like,
can I fucking shake this dude?
It was like a very like Big Brother something. I was just like, I don't know.
You just want to push him into a locker.
Yeah.
Take his lunch money.
Yeah.
He just has that vibe. Yeah.
And just reinvest the lunch money in something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did say that, and then we're here.
And now we're here. Look at us. And this is our fourth episode?
Fourth recording sesh. We're splitting up the eps because we talk so much.
Fourth recording sesh.
I'll speak for myself.
Sure.
I talk a lot.
And how do you feel after the first one being released yesterday?
Great. It's definitely odd to just like, I listen to so many podcasts, so to see our names on Spotify just truly shows you how little anything means.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing matters.
I like how you're not saying that means that we are valid. It's invalidating everyone else who has a Spotify podcast.
Well, it's just truly anybody can do anything.
Yeah, you're right.
You just got to be good at it. What was the thing like people were saying? Because followers basically don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
It's like everyone, there's a famous saying about once everyone got their 15 minutes of fame. It's the same thing with following now.
Yeah.
It's like you really we're all going to hit this bubble is going to burst soon.
Yeah. Yeah. And luckily we don't have any followers on our pod.
Really luckily we never have anything to worry about. I've never worried about a thing in my life. Have you?
No.
Would you consider yourself an anxious person?
Very very much so about people being mad at me 100% of the time.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I would never perceive that.
Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah.
Is that good? That means I don't think you care about.
That means, yes. I care so little about everything in the world.
Mhm.
I am very unfearful. I have very little anxiety
Have you ever smoked a cigarette?
I've never smoked a cigarette. I would love to, though.
Can we do it on camera, Neil?
That would actually be really fun to do that on camera.
No, I'm kidding. Your mom's watching.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Mom. Yeah.
I just think it was
Really
so
rewriting the narrative now that we know my mom listens and maybe is our only listener other than that person in the UK.
True.
Yeah.
We got a couple of fans in the UK. Shout out.
Yeah. Say it in a British accent.
No. I don't want to alienate 2 out of 4 of our fans.
Immediately lose them. Yeah, I'm very unafraid of the reality of the future, of things happening to me, but I'm very afraid at all times and anxious that everyone is mad at me. Everybody is.
Has anyone ever been mad at you?
No, not yet. But
do you think people tell you they're mad at you the same way?
No,
like
I
now
don't.
that we've been spending like obviously week to week more time talking, like face to face, like intimate conversations.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, especially after that first hit where you were like, oh, people maybe have been lying to me. So I'm like thinking about so many things in your life that people did never talk to you the same way.
Yeah.
It's even like how I feel about how my parents treat me versus my little sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I had 1,000 rules. And I look at you as almost like a little sister where I was like, no one probably told her anything.
Yeah.
No
Imagine how my
one
brother
probably
feels.
ever told you. Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't just pulled the tubes out, you know?
I'm surprised he hasn't gone online and spoken up.
Surprised he hasn't lit a match near you when you got your backpack on.
Just end it all. Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from, that you're worried about people being mad at you?
I do not. That's a great question. I think I do wonder a lot if it's like, I think it's the chicken or the egg thing about being a performer, is my crippling fear of people's opinion on me because I'm a performer, or do you have to have that in you to become a performer?
Are you a performer? I just wanted you to say the word one more time in that sentence.
Yeah, I work in show business.
Are you ever not acting?
No, no, I'm acting 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, aren't we all though? Do you not think that you're always kind of acting? Or am I so deluded?
That one.
Heard. Okay. Do you really think that people, it's tough because we only know how our own brain works, right? So
I know, like, when I'm making small talk, I always think I'm doing just like a small talk bit. And
I
then
feel like I'm doing freelance.
But when I'm with friends, I'm not.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I don't think that I'm acting with, I guess, with people that I'm close with, but I do feel like there's a certain level of fear of doing or saying something that would mess up the trajectory of what I want to do.
I have a full out of body experience when I small talk. Like,
really?
As if I need to put on a 4-minute dialogue.
Brutal. It is so,
it happened to me the other day. I was walking with a friend and we ran into someone that I know through comedy. And I put on a whole, hey, how are you? How was this touch point of something I know about them? Asking them what's going on with them currently, what they did that weekend, what they're up to today. Joke, story, out. And then I walked away and was like, who was that? like I'm talking about myself. I was like, what?
It was like you left your body and you watched it happen.
Yeah, and my friend that was with me has seen me do it a million times. And people always think I'm, not that I'm not friendly or anything, but it's
you're giving them the razzle dazzle.
Yeah. The old Jamie Pappas hello, make them feel good. And then I walk away and I was like, this is a crazy story. And I pray she'll never figure out who it is, but
okay.
Because I don't remember who it is. But I walked into a coffee shop the other day on this same walk, and someone walked in behind us in line, and it was someone that the face clicked and my brain was like, I know this person. I've met this person at least. Could not place it for the life of me.
Always rough.
And couldn't place it. And I don't know, but I pulled this line out and it was pretty good. So we go to like around to the table to pick up our coffees. And this woman comes around and I was like, "Oh, hey." And I did the like, "Oh, it's so crazy seeing you during the day, like totally like you're a nighttime, like you're in my head, you're a nighttime friend." And she was like, "That's so funny. That's such a funny way to put it." And I was like, "Thank God first." And then I thought it was
because she could have easily been like, "I only see you at the Dutch during the day."
She's like, I'm your mailman. Like so I was thinking it was this person that recently screwed over one of my guy friends.
Okay.
So I'm going through this conversation knowing I don't really want to be talking to this person, but having a concept of that. So I was like, we just did the like, "Oh, what are you up to?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to Miami with my friend you met, blah, blah, blah."
Okay. That's helpful.
No, because I don't know her. I'm not gonna remember her friend. I guess in context, she was like, and I think she said the show we went to. So then I was like, okay, maybe she came to a show, but I'm still thinking it's this other one.
Yeah.
So we have a whole little. She's talking about Miami. I'm super excited for her. My friend and I go sit at a table outside. I think it's done. I think I'm in the clear, but still unclear who this person is. She was very kind. She's listening. You were very kind. I'm so sorry that my brain doesn't work. And I'm so sorry I meet 500 people a night and am usually 4 martinis in, and everyone is just a forehead to me when I'm talking. So she comes out to the table.
That's such a greater statement.
Yeah, I'll circle back to that. She comes out to the table, we're chatting, and I think she's someone I know who works at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, are you working tonight?" She was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, does the weather impact your spot?" She's like, "I work in tech." And I was like, "Yeah, the weather wouldn't probably affect that." And then, she played it off so beautifully, so kind. And we had like a fine chat, and she walked away, and I looked at my friend I was with. I was like, "I have no idea."
You still don't know?
No idea. Never clicked.
So we have context clues. She came to a show. She works in tech. She introduced you to a friend, but you clearly knew her before the show. But this goes back to
my whole small talk thing is like, I can have a whole...
Yeah.
I can make someone feel like we are best friends. Yep. It's an excellent skill. I'm happy to have it. But I'll walk away and be like... Yeah. I just want to feel good when I'm talking and meeting people. Life's short. So I always like get in like a deep convo. But I realize most people don't do that. So they feel a way deeper connection, even though I do that with everyone.
For sure. What you're saying right now is...
I'm a conversation slut.
Yes. What you're saying right now is
stick it in deep and leave and never see him again.
Oh, she's a little freak.
Classic Neil.
I'm
trying to be better about...
I have this exact issue. Yes.
I don't think there's anything bad about what I'm doing. Like, I just make a decent connection with someone. That's just... And also, I think this is going to sound crazy and woo-woo. But it doesn't mean... I always tell people, like, if I blank on their name, it has nothing to do with the quality of the interaction we had.
Agreed.
If I don't remember your name or where we met, it doesn't take away from how or the moment we had.
So I have 2 things.
Wow, I really sound like a fuckboy.
No,
because I don't remember your name or anything about our date.
Does not mean that we didn't have a connection. I feel... Okay, so first of all, I have this exact issue too, and it was only recently that I realized that is why people... that there are times where sometimes I feel very overwhelmed by people in my life. And this is going to sound so... I almost maybe will cut this because it sounds so humble braggy.
Type it.
But thank you. But the feeling that sometimes I feel like I have a lot of people who consider me a closer friend than I consider them. And I think a lot of it comes from what you're saying, which is like the ability to make people feel really comfortable, the ability to recall something that somebody told me, being good at eye contact because whatever, because of
you're
what we
a
do.
Performer.
Because I'm an actor, and I'm a performer, and because of the fact that I really appreciate those people who can be in a room with you of 1,000 or whatever and still make you feel very like, oh, I'm really listening. I'm not like looking around or whatever. And I think that's a good quality. So I try to emulate it. But then I realize if most people in someone's life are not like that, then they do look at it and they do think like, oh, maybe we are closer.
Yeah.
And that does sometimes feel overwhelming when I'm like, realizing, like you said, being a slut, that I'm like, oh, maybe I am truly just doing this to a lot of people. And second of all,
and I don't want to crush someone's thought that like
agreed,
because
I don't want you to listen to this and think that we're not close. We're so close. Whoever you are that's listening, you're my
girl at
best
the
friend.
coffee shop. I want to hang out.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
maid of
contact
honor
you.
at my wedding. I love you. Maid of honor at my wedding, if not the person I'm marrying.
The thing is, I really think
I
it's
love
like the fault of like, it's not even a fault. I appreciate that we do it. We go in, make connection. I don't know how real yours is.
Mine, I truly feel very real because I do typically feel like when someone will tell me something, and also like there's that whole TikTok trend that people talk about, the way that certain faces make people feel more comfortable to tell people stuff.
Choosing our eyeballs.
Yeah.
Back to that conversation.
Yeah, our eyeballs again. Yeah. Whatever it is that people will just feel more comfortable sharing. And maybe some people look a little more intimidating naturally. But I also think that because we go on stage and we talk about our
sorry, Neil. Yeah.
Are you doing a Neil bit?
Just gonna shake him later.
I can't wait to see him get rocked.
Because
by
you perform and act and are
Yes.
on stage, people are always gonna feel a parasocial too.
Correct. And because we do not like when you're acting, I think it's different because you're doing a script, but when we're doing stand-up, we're talking about our lives. And so I think people feel this sense of like, they just told me personally about their life. And so therefore people will come up and overshare. I mean, but I don't want to use the word overshare because I do really like oversharers. Like come up to me after a show. Yeah, exactly. Come up to me after a show and talk to me about whatever, sometimes it is overwhelming, just time consuming, but I'm never going to be the person who like shames someone or makes fun of someone for coming in and telling me something personal because I was on stage, because I very much get the feeling of you see a comic perform, especially when they get into more serious stuff. And then you do feel this sense of like, oh, I can feel comfortable around them.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to a ton of podcasts. Like if I saw a comedian podcast, I'm like, oh, I know so much about them.
For sure. Right. But second of all, I was going to say that what you said about the name thing, I have had to get over that so hard because it for so long in my life was like crushing the fact that I would feel close with someone and they likely feel close with me too, but mispronounce my name or can't remember if it's Kirsten, or Kristen. And I make a joke on stage and I call it alienating, but I do feel like that's the best way to describe it. It is really, there's been times that I'll have a conversation with someone. We know so much about each other. I do feel a connection with this person. And then at the end, they will be like, oh, this is my friend. Hey, this is Kristen. And I won't correct them because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable, which is like,
it's Kirsten.
Is deep, right? Like I should not feel bad about correcting someone on my name. Yeah. But there's been times that even though I know it is not, like you said, it is not a statement on our connection. Yeah. It does. I've had to really get over that. And like, it's something I've straight up talked about in therapy before. Like
forgetting a name or someone forgetting yours.
People
take more offense if they forget your name.
Yeah, not offense, but
I don't know why I've never taken offense that as long as they like because with people, if I'm like blank on their name, I'll be able to be like, tell them what bar we met at, whatever, like do the memory.
Yeah,
but like
definitely never offense, but it's only most people do not remember my name. People who I've known for years and years, but I have had moments where it's someone that I thought, you're the exception. I know you know my name. Because we had some sort of connection, and then somebody, and like they do know my name, but they're mixing it up, right? Like Kirsten and Kristen, whatever, it's the same letters. Or
you just have a shitty name is something you also have to go back to.
Don't I know it? Yeah, and it all kind of comes down to my mom.
Oh yeah, let's blame your mom again.
Yeah, my mom trying to look at the camera. My mom trying to make sure everyone knows that she's better than everyone by having a daughter with a different name.
Yeah.
She was like, my daughter's not like the other girls. She's different. No. She's quirky.
Yeah. She's got 3 stepdads and a shit name.
Yeah.
Good for her. Can you maybe clip that out?
Yeah.
I love it.
I loved it.
I love her.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think having a name that is not common is, I don't know if, I mean, your name is maybe less common for a girl. but
It was half and half. I went to.
it's a normal name.
Yeah. My thing when you were just saying that I owe my own mother an apology because when I was little, if she mixed up me and my sister's names,
Yeah.
it always felt like very like, oh, like she would go through like a Fleece, Rach, Buddy, Paprika, Jamie. Like I would always be like our dead dogs, both of them. And I always like took it to like mean something. Like, no, I meant nothing. My mom is just doing a million things. She knows exactly. I came out of her. She knows exactly who she means.
Yep.
So now when people don't remember my name, I don't think anything of it. But I hate when I forget someone's name. But I always try to remember like the interaction matters so much more than something so.
For sure.
And also so many people have like if someone's name's Mike and I forget it, like you didn't have a name in the first place. Like
if your name's Mike,
like your parents
unnamed.
named you a number basically.
Yeah.
Like you're Mike number 7 in your elementary school and forget it.
That's actually a very good point.
Like to get offended that I didn't remember which of the top 10 American names it was in the last 10 years. Like,
right. I could just throw out a guess for a lot of guys.
Give me a break.
I've never met a man who wasn't named Mike or
my phone, like
Josh.
Any guy I'm talking to, anything, they're not in there by their name. And it's not like babe. It's like location and a descriptor word.
For sure. Yeah, right. Which I think is fair.
I used to do a bit that like I would never tell my friends' guys' names while we're dating. Because it's more embarrassing to have to be like, remember John, the one with the this, remember with the 5 roommates and the crooked cock, like it would always be like, and it would just add on, and I hated doing that because then one time this was true, and I would do this on stage where my friend said, she said one time I came in and I was like, oh, you'll never guess what, blah blah blah, and she was like, let me guess who, and then she goes, is that the one that ghosted you on your birthday? And she was like, no. Is that the one that had that girlfriend but like didn't tell you about it and then flew to see her when you guys were supposed to hang out? And then she just kept, and I was like, can you stop guessing? It was the Mike, the other Mike, not that Mike, the Mike from, and then I was like, I'm gonna leave.
Eye-opening when someone does them all back to back.
Yeah, she did it, and she was being so earnest. She was like, isn't that the one that did this? And I was like, oh, I get it. And I was like, you're right. We'll just call him all Mike. Nothing matters. Have you ever hooked up with Mike?
Yeah, for sure.
How many? Don't answer that. Sorry, I was rude.
No.
I couldn't guess.
3 or 4?
Yeah, there's so many.
And
you've only ever hooked up with 3 or 4 guys. So
total. They to my best guess, they were all named Mike.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember meeting them.
They seem like a Mike. Yeah, I think Mike is the most.
I think I'm only hooked up with 1 Mike.
Really? Including Michael?
Michael?
Like including like the name Michael as well?
Oh, I thought you were saying that because I call him Michael as a bit, and I was like,
oh no,
you know way too much about me.
Michael? But like you know that like are you including someone named Mike, someone named Michael?
I would never fuck someone that goes by Michael.
Really?
No.
I feel embarrassed about having hooked up with anybody who goes by Mike. I think that Michael is at least a little more like
Michael?
I don't know, grown up.
Is it I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to edit it out.
What? What?
I just don't prefer Michael if you have to.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I usually do like the long form name because I never understand naming a kid something. Then you're just gonna call it by its nickname all life.
Thank you. I
never understand
something. Okay. Can we move then to the things that we need to lay to rest and resurrect? Because one
for me for sure.
One of my top ones is we need to lay to rest naming a kid something, and we need to resurrect in general naming kids after yourself. Why are we still? It's different with you because your dad died and your mom was different.
I think.
Why do we have juniors still? Get over yourself.
What do you mean? Men have small penises. It's the only reason for anything bad in the world.
Thank you. You're right. But I am so.
It is
drives
bizarre.
Me crazy. Give them a sense of. I dated a guy who was a third.
But this is how I feel about the name Mike. You're like,
you might as well be that. Yeah,
no identity based on your name, which is fine.
Yeah,
it almost is like a fresh start. Not when you name it directly after the dad. That's so weird.
Yeah, I do like having the name Kirsten because of the fact that I didn't meet a Kirsten until I was in high school. I didn't meet another one, and there's not a ton in me. I mean, there's Kirsten Dunst, but I guess that's the only one.
Good one.
Yeah, a good one to have. But I do feel like having a unique name at least gave me a sense of independence, and
Which is
people
good
could say Kirsten and know who you're referring to without my last name required.
I think you have enough things that identify you. I think you're good.
They don't need to know my name. Yeah.
I think you're good.
Yeah, thank you.
We're like one of those roasts I said to you, you know?
One of the what?
The roasts I said to you about wearing your oxygen.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the only interesting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I feel that naming is tough.
Yeah. Do you have like names that you like if you ever had a kid that you would choose?
Yeah. But I also was a nanny and worked at a camp, so I can associate so many names with kids.
What's the craziest name of a person in your life?
Someone I personally know or someone I like met?
Yeah, either.
Personally know. Well, I mean, my mom's one of 5 girls, and they all have M names.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that's not something anyone should do.
Yeah, it's a
it's
Kardashian move.
2 sets of twins and another one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Talk about that's a wild move, I think.
That is a wild move, yeah, especially because of how easy it is to mix up, like you said, for parents to mix up names. And
right.
They all start with the same letter.
And they were twins. 2 sets of twins.
Yeah, that's rough.
I can't think of anyone who...
Or like, not necessarily wild, but yeah.
This is just a silly thing. Like, my little sister was born in 2002, and they named her Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
With no concept of the show Friends whatsoever, which was ending that year.
That was my immediate response, was that it had to be Rachel.
My parents earlier were like, we didn't realize how popular of a name it was. So my older sister is named Felicia, but her middle name's Ariel, and The Little Mermaid came out 6 months later. So then everyone named their kid Ariel.
Ooh.
And then my little sister's Rachel Bella.
Mm-hmm.
She was giving out full names. My parents were like, didn't think it was that popular.
Yeah.
Because ironically, not ironic, but if they had a boy, she was going to be named Raphael. Which I feel like is a big swing from Rachel. I have 14 Rachels in my phone.
Huge. Yeah, you do. You do know a lot of Rachels.
So many Rachels.
Yeah. Because you do already have to specify like, oh, I'm going here with Rachel from the Dutch or whatever. Right. Yeah.
Shout out Rach.
Shout out to Rachel from the Dutch.
So many Rachels.
Yeah.
And then, so I would have, I think the craziest name I would have been is my mom said at one point she was considering the name Desiree for my older sister.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That would be
life
not
altering.
A common one.
Life altering.
Like, the trajectory of your life would be different. I firmly believe for everyone if your name was different.
My mom wanted my middle name to be my first name, Amalia. But then when I was born, she like wanted to get some nickname going that was like a combination of Jamie and Amalia. Nothing obviously stuck because that's a mouthful. But I always think about having a different name. When I was little, I really wanted to be named Katie or Elizabeth. I just like wanted to be white so bad.
Why is it such a common but unique experience that we all had a name we wanted to be named so bad when we were younger? Maybe it's just like a elementary, middle school girl thing, but I do feel like anytime I was in elementary school and
you're like learning letters, which letter is better.
Yeah.
You're playing
and you're playing games and pretend, and you're like, well, we're going to play this and my name's going to be this. And everyone would have the thing that they would choose.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I think that would be one thing that I talk about, like how you're saying are some things that do need to die. You shouldn't be legally allowed to name your baby anything in the top 5 baby names.
Agreed. At a certain point, they should all have a cutoff where it's like we've hit a point where we can do a census on what everyone's being named right now. We need to, for the best of society, we need to move on.
I can't wrap my head around it. As a nanny of kids who were in the top 5 names.
Yeah.
Going to the playground and yelling out a name and having 8 kids in the same area run up to you is wild.
Like Aiden's in the, what would be probably like teenagers now, but know, when we were teenagers, they were the little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom, I don't know why my mom went with Kirsten. I'd have to ask her that actually.
Is Brad Bradley?
Brad is Bradley Jackson, but he was originally
BJ,
yeah. Mm-hmm. he was originally, up until he was born, going to be Fender Gibson because my dad is a guitarist. My dad's a musician, and he's a performer. And
he performed pretending to be your dad
Yeah.
for a second.
he was
his greatest role yet.
not great at it, but yeah.
Fender Gibson would have been a sin. Like if I were like the OB nurses, I'd be like, no,
I actually won't write it. Yeah,
sorry.
They went with Bradley Jackson as a settlement because Bradley and Jackson are both guitar manufacturers.
Bradley Gibson could have been cool.
Agreed. Yeah. But Bradley and Jackson are
insane.
guitar manufacturers as well, so it was like a whatever
a name.
Yeah. But they're real names. Yeah. And my mom has told me that when she named Bradley, no one was named Bradley. Now there's a lot of Brads, right? When she named me, she was between Kirsten and Allison. And at the time, they were both equally as uncommon. And she just went with Kirsten.
Allison?
Yeah, like in 94 when I was born. She said that and then all of a sudden, everyone did end up going with Allison.
There was an Allison boom in the 80s. When did that song come out? Could you please look that up?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Michelle is my middle name is after the Beatles song, Michelle. But
my family friend's Michelle after the Beatles.
Yeah.
My family friend, they had like a little statue of the Beatles in their house, and I remember being really little and like being like, who are they?
Yeah.
And my mom's best friend was like, you don't know who the Beatles are? And I was like, no, I'm 6 and I'm asking you who they are. She had to like explain to me.
No, I'm 6 and I didn't grow up in a white family.
Yeah.
So I don't innately know who the Beatles are.
I was like, are those 4 Ricky Martins?
Yeah. Stop.
I'm so confused.
However, I was gonna say my first 2 boyfriends in my life. So my first boyfriend was named Duke. That was like truly his.
So you dated a golden retriever?
I did. Yeah. He
God-given name Duke.
His given Christian name was Duke, although he was not Christian and
Why
he was not white.
God-given?
He was also not white. You're right though. But he was Trinidadian.
Okay.
And everyone else in his family had more traditional Trinidadian names. Duke was like a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
And then my second boyfriend, who I dated it was a much more serious relationship, who, we're friends now because we were 18. But his name is Thane, Thane. And that's also
like a much more serious relationship. We were 18.
Yeah, we were 18. Way more serious than Duke because we were like 15.
Yeah.
But Thane and Duke are both
Thane.
Yeah, they're both like royal, like the names of royalty or whatever, titles, whatever. But Thane was from
names.
And I hope because Thane's mom, Raina, shout out to Raina, was one of the first people to follow our account. Raina has
also means queen.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I didn't know that. Raina is one of the biggest supporters of me ever. She's like, my ex-mother-in-law kind of vibe where like it didn't work out with me and her son, but she and I will ride or die together. She comes to my shows. I adore her.
Does Thane like that?
Yeah, Thane and I Thane and I are friends. Yeah, I mean, I'm 29. We broke up when I was 18, and and
his name's Thane.
Yeah, his name's Thane. Yeah, but I do remember
Does
going.
He have siblings?
He has, yes. So his little brother is named Soren.
Middle name Flying.
Yeah.
Last name, there's not a star in heaven that we can't reach.
It's hyphenated, yeah. Thane's name is.
What is their background, ethnicity?
They are white, but they were born in like Humboldt, California, which is like weed capital of the world at the time. So they are just like very Northern California, like hippy dippy, cool kind of family. And then they just moved to the suburbs of Philly. And so it was very odd that they had those names.
Did Thane ever get beat up in school?
I'm sure he did. He was also the leads in all the musicals. So it statistically, yes. He was also like he's the reason I actually went into acting. But Thane's name is, and I will ask him if I can keep this in, but his full name is Thane Willow Eric Groth Madsen. Madsen's his last name, but he has 3 middle names.
Did they just hand him a loaded gun on his way out of the hospital?
Yeah, they like, you might as well just kill your kid.
Baby Glock.
Yeah.
Baby Glock.
Boo. Ooh. And Soren's name is.
Can you put a copyright trademark on that song real quick?
Thanks. Soren's name is Soren Alderhawk Madsen. And then they have one other brother, and his name is Jacob Michael.
1 second. I have to call child services.
Yeah, thank you. You cannot talk about Raina like this because she's our supporter. But
No, on the dad.
oh, thank you. His name's Lars. It's a tapestry that just keeps getting crazier.
I took all these kids to all the like classes and whatever when they're little, and there was a kid in one of the classes named Zandalar, and I looked it up because I do my research before I mock anybody.
Sure.
And I was like, maybe it's a family name, maybe it's something I never heard of, whatever. World of Warcraft was the only thing that came up.
Oh yeah, that is rough.
Can't do that.
When it's a how do you feel about people naming their kids
bad? Whatever you're about to say.
After something very like, do you remember? You know, in Twilight, how they
I'd
their
name
baby?
my kid Riggins after Tim Riggins, which is disgusting.
I feel like a last name's different.
I would also never do that because I'm not white trash, but
yeah, I do feel like a last name.
Wish I were.
Maybe one day.
When people name their kids after things that are like cultural or like cultural,
but very specifically
culture,
cultural, like not undeniably cultural,
like Star Wars, Harry Potter, something like that.
Exactly, like
Taylor
naming your
Swift
kid
lyric.
Leia, or like I remember in Twilight, the baby they named their baby. They made it up. It was a combo of names from the movie, but they named their kid Renesmee, something like that, right? Okay. Is that right?
I've never seen Twilight.
Yeah, I only saw it recently for the first time, but they named it that, and then there was like a boom of people naming their kids that. And it was supposed to be made up in the first place. So it's,
you know what stresses me out? It's like so many people are trying so hard to have kids and like can't physically have kids, and then people that it seems like some people are having kids and then naming them after Twilight characters, and what are we doing, people?
That's how I feel about people who are
like, no one named their kid Hermione.
I would beg to differ. I've never met a Hermione, but
can you Google baby names if anyone I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then can you open a new tab and Google baby names 2024? Because I am curious.
Then can you just pull up my headshot so we can just look at me?
Yeah. Yeah. And then can you Google, how do you know if you're pregnant? Because I am worried.
Also,
oh my God.
I'll show this for some folks because the Allison thing.
Can I pee while Neil's talking?
Yeah. Can you get me a water while you're up there?
No, not at all.
I'm not going upstairs.
Oh, damn. You're right. Neil, can I have water?
Can we pause for water and a pee break?
Definitely.
Thank you.
Still. What's happening?
Okay.
Sorry for the little jump cut here.
Yeah.
I was about to pee my pants. Riveting stuff we were talking about.
Jamie found out that 15,000 people are
No. There's lists. So it was the of popular name list. It was the 15,344th name on the list.
Jamie found out that there are people named Hermione, and she had to take a minute to step out, which is why we
like, I get it. You start hearing something, it normalizes it, and that's why you name your kid that.
Yep.
Like, I totally understand that, but yeah, I can't imagine looking at a baby naming Hermione and then having to tell them it's about like from a book. It's fine. Like, I know plenty of people like hear a name through TV, and that's what you name your kid after. But that's
and not being sure if it's gonna. I feel like when you do anything pop culture, you never know what the discourse of that thing.
I know someone named their dog after an athlete who then got arrested for domestic violence.
Exactly what I was gonna say. Right. There's people who are comedy lovers who have a Bill Cosby tattoo or something having to do with loving him far before we knew what happened.
I mean, now when people ask me like, oh, who's your favorite comedian? I'll say myself, and then I'll say, oh, I prefer like this type of comedy, because I will never say a name.
For sure.
Because I know as soon as I say a name, that person's gonna do something bad. Except Rory Scovel. That's the one name I'll say.
Okay. I'll say Liz Glazer. She's never done nothing to no one.
Queen. Yeah. Rory and Liz. That's it. The Untouchables.
Yeah. Who do you think is the comic that is least likely to ever have a scandal? I will say, if you asked me this 5 years ago, I probably would have said Mulaney. So,
well, it depends what you think is a scandal.
Yeah.
Is what he did a scandal, being an addict and like leaving your wife?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like.
No, you're right. He didn't necessarily do anything wrong, but yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
One would say buying illegal drugs and doing them everywhere, and he probably did something not nice, but not illegal.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
It's a scandal because we're so obsessed with like celebrity now.
For sure. And that he became celebrity. Mike Birbiglia was talking about this on Working It Out about how crazy it is that we know so much about comics now as if comics are celebrities. It didn't used to be like that. Like there wouldn't be tabloids about a comedian unless they had their own like Seinfeld.
Well, I think that
Cosby.
when people are asking athletes their opinions on anything, I'm like, this guy that has basically an 8th grade education, you're expecting
and severe
him to have a nuanced
injuries.
stance on the Middle East?
Yeah.
Could we please just like get a grip on what it is? Like
Yeah.
they have a platform for this.
Mm-hmm.
They can do great. Like someone was saying something about where Bryce Harper puts his money, and I was like, who cares?
Yeah.
I was like, he's not hurting anybody.
Big time. Yeah. Yeah. This is the hill that my best friend Caitlin will die on, which is like, I do not need to hear, if I get her started on this, she will pop off on it. But she's like, I think because also she also went to school for acting with me. And it's like, we know so many people who could, or maybe have gotten big followings and become like low key famous.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we know these are the same people who were like blacking out at parties, saying the dumbest shit, the most annoying, insufferable theater kids. And it's like, and so many celebrities started this way. And so it's so hard to swallow that they are people who we are real into their thoughts on. Yeah, shit. Like the lead actress in
I see what you're saying. You're saying like, yeah, these are some of the worst people.
Right. The stupid. Exactly. Right. Like thinking about, that's how I feel now that we are.
Yes, we've lost the ability. Like there's no media literacy. Nobody needs to have a background in anything to talk on camera.
Right. Whereas
I don't need to do anything except to have a camera and a microphone.
And I'll go
and
off.
Wi-Fi access.
And so that's why we're here today to talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing a game about it, right?
We're doing it. It's a bit.
It's a role play.
It's a We're going to do voices.
Who do you want to
It's going to be so upsetting.
Yeah. Voices.
We're going to do impressions. No one's going to like it.
But for real, Bryce Harper, if you could call in your thoughts on Palestine, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. If you can write into dyingupherepod@gmail.com, which we do have as an email.
Yeah.
I did get.
Mm-hmm.
Would love to hear your thoughts, Bryce. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Yeah.
If we don't get back to you right away, it's not about
That's the thing. Like as much as one of the biggest podcasts, Armchair Expert, he's literally said from the get-go, I don't know anything. Like
he's
that's
the armchair expert, right?
And they say smartless, but then people don't decipher between what they're hearing as conversation, opinion, as fact, or research, or studied, or backed up anything.
And anybody who, especially because it usually is,
if the camera's good enough quality, people are like, oh yeah, this is good stuff.
They're legit. Yeah,
this is 4K.
Right.
This is not.
You don't have to be smart to have an opinion that people listen to. You just have to have money.
Not even. I don't even think it's smart at this point. I think it's just people
educated.
See stuff and there's. Yeah.
On the topic. Yeah.
You don't even have to, like, you could just get mad one day and say something and then it's taken as word.
And some people can sell it, I think, also.
Yeah.
Like you look at like Dax Shepard. He's a great example. He does do heavy topics. He does bring in people who are not just, he started with actors, but now he's bringing in, philosophers and stuff like that. And he is an actor. He's an actor, but he's good at selling what he says. And I think that's also what's dangerous is people who are well-spoken can really run the world in any way.
And he's good at editing his podcast also.
Very good. Yeah.
Incredible editors and producers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's I think that's also something, if we're going back to things that need to be laid to rest.
Yes.
It's a lack of media literacy.
Yeah.
Like this is my one thing is that we've become a society that has so many rules to prevent things from happening that people have no accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the legal ramifications of like soup being hot at a restaurant, but the restaurant is legally obligated to tell me how hot it is, so I don't sue them.
Mm-hmm.
So we became a place where you'll see signs that are like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. I'm like, do you really need to have a sticker that says don't bring your loaded gun into this children's hospital? Like we've gotten to a point where we put up so many rules because people didn't just respect community and understanding things.
Yeah, and social contract.
Going down a dark hole.
Yeah.
What do you want to lay to rest? Quick, move.
Go.
Quick. Quick, I didn't get my lobotomy yet. Just want someone to scoop out half my brain.
I would be such a happier,
I think there's a chunk.
nicer.
I think it's like right here.
Yeah.
I just need someone to just like pop open the cap, do one of those.
And I do know
send me on my way. I'll name my kid River Rain.
Yeah.
Tribute.
Rain REIGHN. I do know, especially because when I used to host the Franklin Institute podcast, So Curious podcast, check it out. They would obviously bring in a bunch of scientists who know a lot more than me, and multiple confirmed that a brain is, you can hardly hold it in your hands, that it's like scoopable with a spoon.
I'm telling you.
So you could get that done easy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Bring me in, scoop me out.
Okay. What are you gonna lay to rest and resurrect this week?
This week, if you go first, I'll have a thought over here.
I want to lay to rest two things. Those, I don't know what you would call them. You know, the posts that are just like words, like inspirational words, whatever. I want to lay to rest the ones that encourage people taking no responsibility. I saw one recently that said, people will love you, people will hate you, but none of that will have anything to do with you. And I don't know. I like the sentiment. I don't know that everyone should be reading that. I think that's good for people who are level-headed and maybe overly anxious, but there are a lot of people who would read that and take it
between not caring of people gossiping you, but like also, and people like you parking across 3 parking spots and being like, whatever you guys are saying, nothing to do with me.
That's what I'm saying. I think these posts are meant for people who are, like I said, overly anxious about people being mad, but there are a lot of people who I've been waiting to hear something like that. Yeah. They're like, the fact that I cheated on this person has nothing to do with me.
No.
If they're going to be mad at me, they're not going to ruin my peace. I'll tell you that much.
That's
what I'd like to lay to rest. You agree?
Agree.
Okay. Also, just way lighter than the other, catch up. I just as a whole, I'd love to play catch up to rest. I think it's disgusting. I don't know how you feel. Do you like ketchup?
I don't need it.
Okay. I think it's disgusting. I think it is congealed sugar tomato sauce. And I would love to never see it again. I would love to never smell it again.
You've worked in restaurants where you had to refill bottles.
Yeah.
I worked somewhere where I used to have like put sauces in like either ramekins or bottles, and I would any large quantity of any sauce.
Very weak stomach when it comes to condiments. I don't dislike condiments, but I have trouble like you said, looking at them and thinking too hard about what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my lay to rest. We'll do Resurrect in a minute, but go ahead.
I think I can't criticize ketchup too much for the amount of hot sauce I use.
See, you're right. I love hot sauce.
I
think it's the gelatin aspect of ketchup that really gets me.
I think it depends what people need ketchup for. Like, I get dipping a fry in it.
Good point, yeah.
It's the people that need it for everything, because I'm like to your point, it's just sugar.
It's sugar tomato.
Sugar tomato.
It's sugar tomato jello.
Your thing about posts about words made me think of something. And I've always hated this. It needs to end. When people say, take me back, like about a vacation or like a caption, go back, buy a plane ticket. If your life was better then you should just end it now if it's never getting better. Like when people say that was the best day, like make another good day. When people post a picture of a vacation and say, take me back, who is taking you back? You have to take yourself there. You gotta take
you back, girl. You gotta take responsibility for your actions.
Go. Just post. I went to Mexico one time. It was beautiful. I had a great time.
Yeah.
So lucky I did that.
Yeah.
Shut up. Book another trip.
Usually it doesn't, right? I think what you're saying. Usually it doesn't mean that they really want take me back. It's just they're trying to find a caption for an excuse to post about the fact that they went
Put a palm tree emoji and shut it.
Yeah.
I don't get
Tell them.
I do not get the phrase take me back. I do not like any phrase that is targeted telling me to do something. I'm reading it. Like, go buy your Spirit Airlines flight to the Caribbean. You can do it. It's not like a privilege thing. You already went on another trip. I'm not being like shiesty when I say that, but take me back.
As if it's
why are you telling me what to do?
It's my responsibility.
Take you back? What am I? The plane? What am I? The plane?
You're a grown-ass woman.
Take me back.
That's on me.
What?
On top of everything I
Go
have to do this
back.
week, I have to take you back
You
to
went
Mexico.
on a Royal Caribbean cruise one time. Go on it again. No one is stopping you.
Also, you were at a sandals resort in Jamaica. You miss it? Go to a hibachi restaurant down the street, sweetie.
I just don't get the phrase "take me back," and it's become like that. People post like memories from trips and
You're
take
right.
me back.
You're right. It can't be
Like,
on us.
Nothing in your life is good enough to look forward to. You always have to be like, take me back. Like if I think about a trip, I'm like, oh, that was a really nice time. I had so much fun doing this and this. I would love to go back there. I remember, take me back.
Plan a new trip.
Someone pick me up and take me back.
Take me back.
Take me back, please.
My mom can drop us off if yours can pick us up. Can you
please take me?
Please.
I don't. That one is so obviously triggering to me. Really stresses me out. I just like always having things to look forward to.
Yeah.
So if I ever think about a trip, I'm like, oh, that was fun. I do the luxury of a flexible schedule and inflow of money to do so.
Sure.
Of just being able to like be like, all right, I want to go somewhere new and enjoy it. But take me back whenever anyone talks about like these are the best days of my life. That was the best year. I'm like, well, then what are you doing here?
Yeah.
End it.
I also feel like my life is enormously busy. And the idea of having to add to my list to take you back to Mexico is impossible.
Well, I have to get a whole pilot's license. Do you know how many hours I have to fly before I can fly commercial?
And I'm a people pleaser, so I'll do it. But
it's a lot.
It's for you to ask me that is insane.
Also, take you back to what? This is what I think. I think I see people post a picture like, take me back. I'm like, to that time? Is it to the place? Like, were you in it? Like, were you skinnier? Like, did you like yourself more at that moment? Were you just younger? Like, take you back to what? Just post the photo. It's a beautiful photo. I'd appreciate it if you just posted it and shut up. Don't ask me to do something for you.
I think also usually what it means is take me back to a time before I hated my life and got married to someone I hate and had kids, and now I can't do anything. That can't be on me.
I guess honestly, you're bringing it around to a bigger point that I think so many people are so unhappy in their given day to day that they have to say, take me back to the 1 week of PTO they got in a year.
Yeah. Why don't more people smarten up and become stand-up comics and host podcasts?
I don't regret saying this. I have empathy for people that have less flexibility in a schedule. But look forward to something.
Yeah.
Give yourself something to look forward to, even if it's like a snack you like.
Anything.
I get so excited by such minor things that I think when
for sure
people fixate on one thing, like nothing's ever going to be good again. It's 3 words and they drive me up a friggin' wall.
3 words can really,
take me back.
Can really add up.
Take me back? It's the dumbest.
No, I'm heated.
So that needs to end. Take me back.
Okay, that's a great one.
I've unfollowed people for posting.
That's a great one. Comment "take me back" on this clip we're gonna post.
Honestly, I think it's
back.
the phrasing of the sentence, because if someone honestly posted "would love to go back here sometime," that doesn't bother me at all.
That's hilarious. That
doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
Take me back. You're being a brat. You're being annoying.
Oh, you're a little fucking princess who can't
take me back.
Take yourself, daddy.
Yeah, it's like, who are you talking to? Your ex-boyfriend?
Daddy, take me back.
Royal Caribbean and your ex-boyfriend, neither of them want you back, okay?
Yeah. And they're
probably one and the same. Your boyfriend's probably on the Royal Caribbean cruise right now. This episode is sponsored by Royal Caribbean. All right, I'm done. Sorry, because I will keep going forever. That is something that needs to be dead, died, and never coming back, like my dad.
Yeah. Full circle. Yeah. Okay, what do you want to resurrect?
Probably me being a little bit more calm.
Simpler time. Yeah.
Yeah, take me back.
To a time before
I could speak.
Yeah.